A manuscript written in a language no one has ever been able to decipher. An unidentified woman found dead, surrounded by clues that don't add up. An entire battalion that vanished in the middle of battle. An aircraft that transmitted one last impossible message. And a ship found adrift, its crew dead. With no clear cause. 5 real cases. 5 documented mysteries. Subscribe and join us in episode 9. Number 5. The Rohank Codex. The Rohank Codex is not just an indecipherable manuscript, it is an object that seems to contain an entire story, even though no one knows how to read it. Its more than 400 pages are filled with hundreds of distinct symbols, many of which never repeat, as if each section followed different rules. The text flows from right to left, but in some fragments it appears reversed, breaking every known linguistic convention. Throughout its pages are dozens of unsettling illustrations. They depict armies clashing, walled cities under siege, chained human figures, collective rituals, and scenes that appear to show trials, sacrifices, or executions. Some images combine crosses, crescent moons, and solar symbols within the same scene. A religious mixture that does not correspond to any clear historical period or single culture. There are drawings of buildings that cannot be identified, weapons that do not match known designs, and characters wearing strange garments, as if they belong to a forgotten or deliberately hidden civilization. In several pages, the scenes seem to follow a clear narrative sequence, suggesting that the manuscript may recount a prolonged war, an invasion, a forced migration, or even the collapse of an entire people. Some researchers believe it is not a simple religious text or a symbolic book, but a detailed chronicle of real events written in a system designed to protect its contents. The Codex's complexity would be extreme even for a deliberate forgery, making its existence all the more disturbing. And as the years pass, the Rohank Codex remains intact, guarding its contents as if it were waiting for someone capable of understanding it, or as if it never wanted to be understood at all. Number 4. The Isdal Woman. In November 1970, the partially burned body of a woman was found in the Isdal Valley, a remote mountainous area of Norway known for accidents and unexplained deaths. The location was isolated, cold, and difficult to access. There were no witnesses, no identification documents, and the scene did not fit a typical accident. From the very beginning, something felt wrong. The autopsy revealed disturbing details. The woman had ingested a large quantity of sleeping pills, suffered severe burns, and traces of gasoline were found both on her clothing and on the ground. Near the body, objects had been deliberately arranged, as if the scene had been carefully staged. There were no clear signs of a struggle, but there was also no conclusive evidence of a simple suicide. What followed was even stranger. All the labels had been removed from her clothing. Her fingerprints matched no police records anywhere in Europe. In her luggage, discovered days later at a train station, investigators found wigs, makeup, sunglasses, and coded notes that could not be definitively interpreted. The investigation revealed that she had used multiple false identities. She stayed in several European hotels under different names, constantly changing her appearance and routines. Some witnesses said she seemed alert and nervous, as if she feared being followed. Behaviors consistent with counter-surveillance techniques were even noted. To this day, no one knows who she really was or why she ended up in that valley. The case was officially closed as a suicide, but the contradictions remain. Decades later, the Isdal woman is still an erased identity and a mystery that refuses to disappear. Before we continue, if you enjoy real mysteries like these, make sure to subscribe. New episodes are on the way, and you won't want to miss what's coming next. Number 3. The ghost ship Orang Medan. In the late 1940s, several ships sailing through the Strait of Malacca received a disturbing distress transmission. It came from a Dutch cargo vessel called the Orang Medan. The message, sent in Morse code, was brief and chilling. All officers, including the captain, are dead. Possibly, the entire crew is dead. Minutes later, a final, incomplete sentence was received. I die. When an American ship managed to locate the Orang Medan, it found the vessel drifting in complete silence. Upon boarding, the scene was deeply unsettling. The bodies of the crew were scattered across the deck and inside the cabins, with no visible signs of violence. Many had expressions of extreme terror, their eyes wide open and their arms rigid, as if they had died suddenly and at the same time. There were no signs of a struggle, no fire, and no major structural damage. Yet the temperature aboard the ship was strangely high, even in the lower compartments. Shortly after the rescue crew attempted to tow it, the Orang Medan suddenly exploded and sank, taking with it any conclusive evidence. No official cause for the tragedy was ever established. Theories ranged from toxic gases and illegal cargo to unknown chemical substances and even unexplained phenomena. Most unsettling of all, there are no clear records of the ship in official naval archives. The Orang Medan vanished beneath the sea, but its story remained afloat as a warning and as one of the most disturbing ghost ship cases ever recorded. Number 2. The disappearance of the Stardust flight. On August 2, 1947, the Stardust aircraft of the British airline BSAA was flying from Buenos Aires to Santiago de Chile, crossing the Andes mountain range. It was a demanding route, but a routine one for the time. There were 11 people on board. None were ever seen alive again. During the flight, the pilot transmitted a final message in Morse code that baffled all radio operators. Stendek. The word had no known meaning, did not correspond to any aviation code, and was not an obvious error. Seconds after that transmission, the aircraft disappeared from radar without sending any distress signal. Initial searches yielded no results. There were no wreckage, no bodies, no calls for help. For decades, the Stardust was considered one of aviation's great mysteries, fueling theories ranging from navigational errors to unexplained phenomena in the Andes. It was not until the late 1990s that pieces of the aircraft slowly emerged from a glacier in the Argentine Andes. The mountain had kept its secret for more than half a century. Although the fragments confirmed that the plane had crashed, they did not fully explain the final message or the exact circumstances of the impact. Even with the wreckage recovered, the enigma remains. What did the pilot mean by Stendek? Was it human error, a technical failure, or a message sent in the final seconds of consciousness? The Stardust fell into the mountain, but it left a question hanging in the air, one that still has no definitive answer. Number 1. The disappearance of the Norfolk Battalion. During World War I, in August 1915, the Norfolk Battalion of the British Army was sent to fight in the Gallipoli campaign, one of the most chaotic and poorly documented operations of the war. What happened that day has gone down as one of the strangest episodes in military history. According to reports, several hundred soldiers advanced toward a hill occupied by enemy forces. Witnesses claimed that a strange, dense fog descended over the area, motionless and sharply defined, something unusual even for that region. The battalion entered the fog and never came out. When the cloud finally lifted, the soldiers had vanished completely. There were no gunshots, no screams, no bodies. They had simply disappeared. For years, the British Army assumed they had been captured or annihilated, but after the war, Turkey denied having fought or taken prisoners in that area. Decades later, scattered human remains were discovered, but the number did not match the missing soldiers, and the circumstances failed to clarify what had happened. Some bodies showed unusual fractures, as if they had fallen from a great height, something impossible to explain in that terrain. Official documents were classified for years, and contradictory testimonies only deepened the mystery. Were they massacred and the truth covered up? Was it an extreme military error? Or did something occur that was never officially recorded? To this day, the disappearance of the Norfolk Battalion remains one of the most disturbing and confusing episodes of World War I. 5 real cases. 5 stories where logic breaks down and answers never arrive. Manuscripts no one can read, erased identities, entire battalions that vanish, impossible final messages, and ships turned into floating tombs. None of this is fiction. Everything is documented. And yet, it remains unexplained. If these enigmas made you question what you think you know, subscribe and join us in the next episodes. Because in this world, some mysteries don't want to be solved. They want to be remembered.